disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partner, Joe Hartley. What's up, man?
What's going on?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network, and on Mondays, you got the Winner Circle with myself, Isaiah Gatherings, Chris Walker, and Angel Diaz. Tuesdays, the Inside Scoop with Alice and Jeff. Wednesday, the Traditional Way with Brett Shumway. And then Thursdays, it's us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. And also the main app, the Martial Arts Center Network app. Joe, it is showtime. What's happening, man?
Not much. Staying busy. You know, I had a couple of days off, Monday, Tuesday. And of course, I kind of like, you know, we talked about this before. I like to just relax on my days off, catch up on some TV. You know, I'll do a few chores around the house. I got to get the lawn done, but the weather hasn't been cooperating. But I completely forgot. Like, I had all kinds of stuff set up for Monday. And so here comes Sunday night, and I'm like, I'm expecting to you know, have a nice, easy day. And wife's like, oh, dude, you got to take so-and-so to the doctor. This one over here. This one. I'm like, oh, man. I thought that was next week. I was like, all right, well, whatever. And do what I got to do. And then I'm thinking, like, today, same thing, right? But I woke up today, and I just wasn't feeling right. So it is what it is. Oh, and then, you know, fun thing yesterday. I'm getting ready to sit down, enjoy the Lions game, right? About 6:40. My aunt, who's also my godmother, calls me. Okay, she don't really call me. Like, she don't remember a lot of things. So she talks to my mom. She talks to my other aunt most every day. If I call her, she'll answer, but she don't call me ever. So she called me twice, and I missed the first one. And so I picked up the phone and I said, "Hey, Aunt Julie, what's going on?" And she said, she said she forgot. So usually when she needs my help, it's her TV. You know, she just pushed the wrong button on the TV. It got off of HDMI and the TV's not working. So I'll run up there and go fix that real quick, visit for a little bit, hang out, you know, make sure she's doing okay, and no problem. Well, so I asked her. I said, "Is your TV fine?" And she's like, "Oh, you know what? Let me go check." She turns the TV on, and I hear this loud beep. And I go, "What was that?" She goes, "Oh, that's why I called you. The fire alarm battery was low." So I'm like, "Okay, let me find out what's going on. I'll call the front desk and see what's going on." And first I stopped and I called my mom to see, like, if she already knew this was going on. Because like I said, she talks to my mom and my aunt all the time. So I assume they knew. And usually if they need my help, they'll call me. So I called my mom and she's like, "Yeah, Terry called the front desk and they said they went up there and they couldn't find it. But it's not in her bedroom. So she's just gonna close the bedroom door and the maintenance will be there in the morning." I'm like, that's dumb. That's a dumb solution because those things are loud and annoying.
You know what? You are 100% right. And I'm always baffled by the people who have it going off all the time and they don't even hear it. They don't even notice it. I don't understand how those people can do it.
No, it gets in my head and then it becomes a problem. Like, I'm one of those people. No, thank you. So I can't
deal with it either.
Yeah, I got there. You know, I'm only 10, 15 minutes away, depending on traffic. So I got there and I'm listening for it. And there's one in the living room. Someone told me there was 3 there. I found 2. Well, guess what? It was the one in her bedroom. So she was gonna have to deal with that all night. So I'm thinking, like, okay, let me figure this out. So I get a chair and I pull it out, and it's hardwired, so I can't pull it all the way down, you know, because it'll set off all of them if it's hardwired like that. So I find the little compartment with the battery and I pull it out, thinking, okay, I'm good. No, it has a backup. So
it has a backup battery.
It has the because it's hardwired. You have to replace the battery.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't have a battery. I didn't come with a battery. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go downstairs. Maybe they'll have one downstairs. Hopefully, if not, I'll have to go to the store. No problem. There's a store right there. And as soon as I get ready to walk out the door to figure it out, the owner of the building, the director, shows up with her husband, and the husband has a step stool and a battery. And I'm like, hallelujah. Because I'm like, I just want to go watch the game.
Yeah.
My aunt had the game on, so I got to see the Amon-Ra touchdown and stuff like
Okay.
that and everything. We got it taken care of, got the battery in, and then maintenance showed up this morning to make sure everything else was good. So crisis averted, but I'm just like, of course I'm trying to sit down and watch this game, and I got to deal with something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I visited for a little bit. We watched probably the first 3-4 series from the Lions,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got home just in time for Jahmyr Gibbs to run it in, and we had a good Lions victory, had a good Michigan victory. I had a good weekend.
Yeah, did you hear the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown on the radio in the car, or did you see it live?
I got it. I got home like 2 plays before it, so I was good.
Okay, yeah, I was in the car and I heard it in the car.
Still wild.
Yeah.
Because oh yeah, but Tampa Bay with what's that, Vita Vea in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
Like Vita Vea been killing all the running backs this year. So to break off one like that, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So
It's rivalry week this week, right?
Yeah, but is it really? Because
Nah.
nobody from the other side even says anything. They don't even try anymore.
No, they don't right now because the last few years their team hasn't been very good. Okay. And they know that. And then we haven't really been losing, even this year. Like we lost 2 games this year. They're not saying anything because their team is losing also. So it's kind of nice.
Put it out there. Give it a try.
They don't want to do that, man.
I know.
They don't want to do that. Especially because if this mess around and be a game that they win, we'll never hear the end of it. We won't hear the end of it until next year. So.
But it's too late by then.
We are their Super Bowl. We are their Super Bowl.
You got to call your shot right now. That's how it is. I'm gonna call my shot. We're gonna beat the crap out of Ohio State. I don't care what happens.
I hope so, because that would kill them to be number 1 all the way to the end, and then to lose to us again.
Perfect.
Oh man! And you know what? Something you said a couple weeks ago happened, right? So I don't know if it was this show or Superflix, and Michigan was 15th, I believe.
Yeah.
And they lost to USC, and it dropped them all the way out of the top 25. You did. You said that was going to happen.
They were waiting to do that to us. 100% they were waiting.
They didn't drop them back to 18th, 20th. They pushed them all the way back out to 25. Meanwhile, Notre Dame now is up a little bit further because they were at that time. They were right behind us, right? They were 16.
Now they're at 14, 15.
Well, no, they were actually, when I saw them, they were 13th, and I think that was Saturday. They were 13th before they played. So I don't know what they are now.
They got a good win. I didn't think they were going to get that win, but they got it.
Mm-hmm.
They just let Love run all over the place. Oh, that was crazy. But now we're back to 25.
Are we are?
I just checked
Washington. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't.
There's no playoffs this year for us. There's no playoffs for us this year.
Yeah. Anything can happen. Do we have to play Indiana at all?
I don't think so. I don't know. I thought when I looked at the schedule for them, I don't think I saw them.
We can win out and beat Ohio State.
We're gonna need some. We're gonna need some help from some other teams.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's already been a few upsets. Yep. There were 3 top teams got upset over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Let me see here.
It's a bowl game, regardless. But it's crazy to me. Ohio State really, other than Texas, who they played?
No, no one that I saw of any importance.
I think Indiana. Not that they'll ever do that, but
then we played State. We played Purdue. We play Northwestern, Maryland, and then Ohio State.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maryland could give us some trouble. Maryland, for some reason, they like to give people trouble every once in a while. Ohio State, I don't know. They seem like they're having a rough year this year.
Who? Penn State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No. Ohio State and Indiana aren't playing each other. Indiana has UCLA, Maryland. They play Penn State, Wisconsin, and then Purdue at the end. So
see how that goes. Yeah. See, they ain't played nobody, and they just stay at number 1.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
It is what it is.
How you been?
Everything's cool, man. Went down to Indianapolis, took care of business down there, cleaned up some of the store visits down there. Everything is smooth. I actually needed another day because I did not visit all of the stores that I needed to visit down there. But I'm going back in December, right before the holiday break, my vacation. I'll go down there one more time, and I'll go to those stores that I missed this time. But you know what? I did. So in Indianapolis, the stores on the east side of Indianapolis are hood. I mean, when I go to those stores, I try and get there as early as possible and get them out the way, before the ignorant people wake up. That's what I try and do, right? Now, I also had to so when I'm planning the route out, I had to go to the south part of Indianapolis also. So those are 2 separate days because they're kind of far away from each other as far as the amount of stores I have to do in each location. So I had 2 stores that are normally closed on Saturdays. And I said, okay, well, that means that on Friday, I need to go to the south to make sure I hit those stores because they'll be open. Because if I wait till Saturday, I'm not going to be able to visit those stores. They'll be closed.
Yeah.
So I saved the east side stores till Saturday, right? So I go to the east side stores on Saturday, and I start my day kind of early. Like I said, I want to get in and get out of the east side of Indianapolis. But one store I got to, I didn't get there. I didn't get there early enough, So I pulled into the parking lot. When I pulled into the parking lot, there were about 6 to 8 guys. And as soon as I seen these guys out, I looked at the clock and I'm like, you guys aren't supposed to be up. That's what I'm thinking. Like, why are you guys up already? Man.
Early bird catches the worm.
Yeah, man. And they were definitely out looking for some worms too, man. So as soon as I pulled into the parking lot, I locked eyes with one guy. And I was like, man, I probably shouldn't have did that. Sure enough, when I get out the car, somebody from down the block is yelling at me, wanting to know where I was from. Now, I know what that means. That does not mean what city did I just come from or what state. They wanted to know what type of street organization I was affiliated with.
Yeah.
That's what that means. When somebody asks you where you're from and you're in the hood, that's what that means. So I ignored them. I straight ignored them. And he's still talking to me as I go into the store. So now as I'm in the store, I'm thinking like, okay, when I go outside this store, I might have an issue. So when I did my business in the store and I walked out, and luckily there was no issue. Now I guess they took a look at my car and saw that I was from out of state or whatever. Because when I came back out, they didn't say anything to me. And the guy that was speaking before didn't say anything. But they weren't standing where they were standing before. They were standing across the parking lot. So I'm thinking like, okay, they must have seen my license plate and know that I'm not from around here. So they're gonna give me a pass. But I'm thinking to myself, it's about 6 to 8 of them. I might get 1 or 2. I have no idea if these guys have any heat on them or not. 9 times out of 10, they had some heat on them, So that could have. So yeah, so I talked to my manager. I was like, man, I had a little situation. I could tell it could have went a different way, especially if I conversated back and forth with him. It definitely could have went a different way. And my manager was like, man, did you get there early? I said, yeah, I was there early. They was up early too. It was like, you know what? Don't mess. You can't mess around on the east side. And I was like, yeah, I know. Now, before he's had some concerns about me going to this area of Indianapolis also. Especially one time I was driving in, I just drove right there to the east side. And he was like, don't do it. I was like, nah, it's all right. I'm from Detroit. I'll be all right. I've been in the hood, so. But no, you don't want to be over there around 4 or 5 in the evening, especially in the fall when it's starting to get darker outside. And I did it one time, and luckily, there was nothing going on over there. But it definitely looks shady when the lights go down. I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. So from now on, I try and get there as early as possible. But I'll tell you what, man, next time I go there to Indianapolis and I go to that store, if I see people in the parking lot, I'm not stopping. I had another guy, he's not so much a coworker, but somebody that works with my company. He was at a light and somebody tried to carjack him, in that area, and he saw the guy. Guy was walked up to his window. It was punching his window. He was telling him not to do it, not to do it. The guy busted the window, right? And put his hand through the window. So then that's when my friend he just took off.
That's what I would have done.
He took off. Luckily, it was a guy with a semi truck. The semi truck came and closed them in, and then radioed the police. The police came, got the guy, arrested him, booked him, and everything. Right. So now court is coming up. And my friend did not want to go to court. He did not show up to court because people in the area, the stores he was visiting, told him, like, hey, these people are not the people that you really want to mess with. And if you go and testify, you're probably going to have problems when you come back down here. So he did not testify or whatever. And, they give him a pass now in Indy. So, yeah, man. So it's something else. But anyway, me and Melissa, she went down there with me. We had a good time, man. We went to our normal restaurant that we go to when we go for during the Halloween time. This Mexican restaurant that decorates the restaurant real nice. And Melissa was a little bit judgmental of them because they didn't decorate the outside as nicely as they have in the past. So she was a little irritated by that. I was like, well, maybe the person that normally does this doesn't work here anymore. Maybe they quit or something, so, but it was still nice. We still had a good time, man.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, nothing. I went back to class today. Didn't get a chance to do any jiu-jitsu yesterday, but I did go today, and I'm going tomorrow, and then I get Thursday off, and then back on Friday. So back to my normal training schedule, man, and doing the cardio in the morning, and then I'm going to start doing weights in the evening. So I got a little setup here at the house in the basement, but a lot of times, man, it's so hard to work out in the evening, like at night, because I'm constantly going so much during the day. The last thing I feel like doing at night is lifting weights, especially after I eat dinner. I just want to sit on the couch, talk to Melissa for a minute, before she passes out watching TV with me, and figure out what I'm going to do. But I don't know, man. I might start doing that. I gotta figure out a good time that I can be consistent with as far as doing my weights, man. I'm thinking about, if I can't do it in the evenings, then I might do it at about maybe close to maybe around 4:30, something like that, right before I go teach the kids. So I'll experiment and see what works out for me. So who knows? But all right, man, let's talk about our movie for this week. Here Comes the Boom. I was kind of surprised by this movie. I thought it was going to be a little bit more sillier, and I'm not saying that I'm mad that it wasn't sillier. I like how it was. I was just expecting it to be a little bit more sillier, and like I said to you before, I was expecting him, Kevin James, to be more like Doug from King of Queens. He had little hints of it, but not a lot of it.
Yeah, I heard after he did this training for this movie that he really got heavily into MMA and is actually pretty good.
Yeah, he's actually I don't know about now, but at one point in time he was doing jiu-jitsu, and he was affiliated with one of the Gracie jiu-jitsu schools. I don't know if it's in New York or Connecticut.
He pops up in a lot of the MMA shows.
Okay. I can see. I mean, he was doing that on King of Queens. He was wearing the different MMA t-shirts. He even had MMA fighters on King of Queens. A lot of the Pride guys were on there.
So at the beginning of this movie, you don't really have it. He's a teacher. He doesn't really seem like he cares about being a teacher that much. And throughout the movie, you kind of learn like at one point he did care, but he actually kind of blames the system of teaching, like that instead of worrying about making sure the kids get it and making sure your lessons are getting through and everything and being excited about being a teacher. It's all about money. It's all about churning out the product and everything like that. So I think he kind of exposes that because he's really not wrong. I mean, there's a lot of ideas and a lot of the whole idea of like who did it? Was it Bush or even before that? It was No Kid Left Behind. And I feel like that's not really a thing. Teachers, especially teachers who have been teaching for a very long time, they kind of get stuck in their ways. And I feel like that's how he was at this point. He was talking about, 10 years ago, he got Teacher of the Year. And now he just shows up late, kind of, tells everyone, okay, open your books to whatever we were working on last week. And, he's got his feet up and he just doesn't care.
Yeah. And speaking of him being late, like we start off this movie and he is climbing in the window of his classroom.
Yeah, but
like
he was quick trying to make it a lesson, even though it didn't work, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah, he's a biology teacher.
Yeah. Which, I mean, wouldn't that just be a science teacher, technically?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it falls under science, yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't think biology was like an actual, I mean, maybe.
No, I had 2 years. Matter of fact, I had 2 years in high school of biology. I had biology 1 in 10th grade, and then I had it again in 12th grade. And I had it in 12th grade because I wanted to have biology too, because I didn't want to have that other science. I can't remember what it was, but we had to
physics?
It might have been physics.
It said
no. It was something, man, it was another biology class, but we had to dissect. We had to dissect a cat. And I was not dissecting the cat. I was like, I'll dissect the frog. I did it in biology 1. I did the fetal pig in biology, but I was not trying to dissect a cat. So whatever class that was, I did not take, and I went back to my my biology teacher. But I would think that you would do dissecting animals in biology too, but I did not. I didn't do that cat. So it must have been something else.
I don't remember a cat. Sure. We did a sheep's lung. We did a frog.
I'm sorry. No, I got it. My bad. I had that all wrong. It was chemistry. I ended up going back to chemistry.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't want to do, because biology 2 had the cat, and I went to chemistry 2 because I did not want to do that damn cat. That's right.
So when he gets in the class and he tries to make his excuse, the principal's there waiting, and the principal already told him if he's late again that he's gonna dock him a vacation day. So he just, again, he doesn't care. He's got a student that's pretty smart, and he basically tells her like, I'm basically, this is my vacation time, so I'm just gonna do it like that. He's got a newspaper. He don't care, and the students are looking like this is just a blow off class. So I wonder how he affects their grades. Like, does he just give everyone the same grade?
Well, I think he kind of knows which kids are the smart kids, and I think he's just automatically going to give them an A, or he would have just automatically gave them an A, and anybody else, he would have gave them a C or whatever. I think he just kind of winged it.
And then right after the class, he's done. He's basically beats up the vending machine because it won't give him his chips, and he throws the extra one. There was an extra one to a student, and he's like, "You saw nothing." Like, I was like, I don't even know why that part was in it, but it was kind of funny. That was definitely some Doug stuff right there.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think Doug would have gave those extra chips to the other
Oh,
kid
no,
though.
you'd be like, you didn't see nothing.
Right.
Now the
He probably would have bribed him with an A.
the funny thing is, he walks by the music class, and he actually seems to be into the music class. And I think they don't really ever say him and Henry Winkler's character are friends,
Mm-mm.
but uh, he is amazed by the fact that he probably still enjoys his job and that he's good at it, and that the students respond to the point where he does a quote of the day, so they're waiting for the quote of the day at the end of the thing. So, you kind of realize like he thinks this is more important than what he's having to deal with.
But also, he went there because he wanted to talk Henry Winkler's character
Yeah,
into driving the bus or something, right?
doing the safety for basically at the end of the day, you got to make sure everybody gets on the bus. Nobody wants to do that job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he doesn't even ask Henry Winkler to do it. He like just kind of forces it on him.
Mm-hmm.
Even after Henry Winkler, who's pretty old,
Mm-hmm.
just explains to him that his 48-year-old wife is pregnant with another child, and his
Mm-hmm.
oldest child is 22. And Henry Winkler's character's name is Marty, and Kevin James is Scott Voss.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at Marty and goes, "How old are you?" And he just looks at him and he goes, "Old."
Right.
I mean, he looks like he's in his 60s, maybe 70.
You know what is weird about Henry Winkler is he plays such an iconic character back in the day. He was the Fonz, right?
Yeah,
But it seems like he was appreciative of having that character, the Fonz. But on the flip side, it seems like he wants to be any other character that is not like Fonz. Because everything I've seen him in since Happy Days, he's been a goofy, silly type character. He's not trying to be a cool guy or even a normal regular guy. Think about how he acted in The Waterboy. He was the same character
yeah.
in The Waterboy like he
All
was
the
in
Adam
this
Sandler
movie.
movies, he pretty much plays because in Little Nicky, he does. They basically cover Henry Winkler and bees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's always that kind of goofy, silly, off the wall character now.
He was like that in King of the Hill, the animated
Yep,
cartoon. His character was kind of like this also.
yep, it's true. And I think he's good at that, and I think that's
Yeah.
fine. The Fonz has to be its own thing, and to to get away from that, it's pretty good for him because a lot of people, once you are a character, it's hard to get away from that character.
Yeah, especially somebody like that. I mean, for a lot of people, like I don't think too many people can take Jaleel White as anything else except for Urkel.
Yep.
I mean, I really haven't seen him be anything else besides Urkel. So
I mean,
he kind of got he kind of got typecast, and that happens to a lot of actors and actresses.
the crazy thing about that is, from my understanding, he was only supposed to be like a one-off,
Yeah,
and then he ended up becoming so popular. Like they literally had the show ended up having to be centered around him.
what's funny that you're talking about that. I don't even know if you're talking about the Fonz or Urkel because it was both characters that happened to.
Oh, I didn't know that for the Fonz, but
Yeah,
doesn't shock me. Doesn't shock me
yeah,
at all.
yeah. Same thing happened. The exact same thing.
When something's good, just you got to roll with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, it enhances every other character. When you
Mm-hmm.
get that one character that everyone loves, and then you just got to keep bringing them back and then make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a school meeting at the end of the day, and Scott's trying to talk to. I guess she's the nurse, and her name is Bella. I'm assuming she's the nurse, which
Yeah, you know what? I just thought she was a teacher that just knew first aid. That's all I thought. I didn't know, but she could have been a nurse because he did go to her room. We see that later on.
yeah. So he's he's been hitting on her a bunch, and she said he's already 0 for 15, and so he's 0 for 16. So she keeps turning him down. So the principal shows up, and basically he's talking about they're not getting money for the school. They got to start making cuts, and basically the idea of the show, this movie, comes into focus here because the biggest thing they want to do is completely cut the music program.
Mm-hmm.
which basically puts Marty out of a job. And so Marty, of course, tries to be like, well, people need music. Like music helps with everything. And the principal's kind of a jerk about it, you know.
Mhm.
He's like, we don't have the money, deal with it. And they're like, the football team gets new uniforms every year, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, yeah, that's over half our revenue. So deal with it. And at this point, Scott Voss, he stood up for Marty. But the funny thing about it is, at first, I don't think he did it to actually help Marty out. I think he did it because he just likes to mess with the principal.
Probably.
I mean, I think maybe let's go 50-50 because he does feel Henry Winkler, especially now that he knows Henry Winkler is about to have a child
Mhm.
and needs this job, which, by the way, he exposes to the whole place, even though Marty had just told him not to tell anybody yet.
Mhm.
But, you know, cat's out of the bag.
Now, also, I was thinking like, okay, this is a noble thing you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, standing up for him and everything. But on the flip side, I'm thinking like, he can't go work at another school. He is a teacher.
Well, Scott pointed out the fact that the real reason they're trying to get rid of Marty is because he's about to make tenure.
Oh yeah.
So they did, tenure basically means you keep your job and you keep your salary. So, I mean, that I wouldn't doubt somebody pulls that kind of crap. So Scott Voss decides, hey, I'm going to raise the money. What do you think about that? Because basically he needs $50,000 is what he needs altogether. So he doesn't know, like.
Well, he didn't just say him. Like he was thinking the other teachers were going to help him out.
But he's the one that said it, so it fell on him. And Marty, of course, is super excited. He's like, all right, well, we're going to have a meeting after school and you're going to lay out your plan. Scott has no plan. He just, like I said, he was just mouthing off because that's who he is. And now he's got to figure this whole thing out. And then again, so he shows up to this quote unquote meeting. Nobody's there. The only one who shows up is Bella. So now, if Bella didn't show up to this meeting, would Scott have just been like, well, we tried, sorry. Because that's the way he was going. But the second he saw Bella was interested, it's almost like he was like, okay, I got to maybe try to see this through.
I was thinking that maybe he was thinking that maybe they should brainstorm.
Yeah.
You know, put their heads together because he, like you said, he didn't have a plan. I mean, and if Marty said something to me, I would have said, like, hey man, like I didn't know this was going to happen to you. You know, let's put our heads together and try and figure this out together. And that's what I would have said.
They said
Marty made it seem like
Scott,
he was depending on Scott, like that Scott has the plan. He knows what we're going to do. How we're going to save my job.
This guy had no plan. He just was riffing.
Yeah.
So they send Marty to go find other people, even though nobody else is showing up. And he basically talks about how he has no plan. He's just gonna do the best he can. And he's still trying to get a date with Bella. And he tells her if he can dunk this basketball, then she'll go. She's like, "You're not gonna dunk a basketball." And of course, he goes and gets a trampoline, and still falls flat on his face.
That was a Doug move right there.
Yes, that was a Doug move. Now, I call him Danny, but what's his name in this?
You know what? His brother, Gary Valentine. Yeah, I don't know his name. You know, I should have had the list pulled up.
I just looked it up. Eric. His name is Eric. So he's over there in the basement. They're watching some TV and eating, dinner or whatever. And this dude has a crazy wife who I've seen in a bunch of other stuff. And then it looks like he has like 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah, I was. It's funny you said I was kind of counting myself.
and the wife keeps like calling them all kinds of names and everything. They look like they have an interesting relationship.
Yeah, because you just see these kids in the background. We never really, find out anything about the kids. They're just kind of being kids, just playing around and stuff and being noisy and everything. I mean, there was one kid that was like leaning over.
And there's a baby.
Yeah.
So he's talking to him about like how to raise this money, and meanwhile, the brother, he thinks the brother can help him because he's got a good job, and he's like, dude, I lost that job. I don't have that job no more. I need a new job. Blah 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 blah. So there goes that, and he's like, I can give you like $200. He's like, yeah, I need a lot more than that. So he tells him, he's like, well, how about you do that citizenship class that you used to do? This citizenship class was a mess. Like they had all these people, and he's trying to help them, and they're so confused.
Mm-hmm.
And
it didn't seem like they even understood English. Some of them did, but that seemed like a hard class to teach. Like if you have people from all these different countries and you have to teach them, it seemed like an impossible. Like it should be broken up. Like if you speak Spanish, you go to this citizenship class. If you teach French, you speak French, you go to this one. If you're a Russian, you go to this one. But it seemed like this class, all these people were just kind of jammed together. Like even when toward the end of the movie, when we see them all watching TV together, they're not talking to each other. They're just kind of just sitting there looking at the TV. They're not clapping. They're not making noises. They're not talking to each other. They're just kind of sitting there, and they look kind of awkward.
I'm trying to find the name of the dude that's that was in this class that's helping him.
Boss Rutan.
Boss Rutan.
Yeah, Boss Rutan. One of the MMA OGs.
But what's his name in the show? In the movie?
What was his name?
I'm not seeing him in the yeah, go ahead.
Let me see if I was looking some stuff up.
Emilio or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's not important.
I'll tell you in a second. Go ahead. Keep on going.
Anyhow, so after the class, this horrific class, the boss Rutan right now that we're calling him until we figure out his actual name in this, comes out and basically asks Scott if he can give him like private lessons because he really wants to be a citizen. He's got a good thing going. So he's got like an MMA gym and a whole bunch of other stuff. So at first he's kind of like, I got a lot on my plate. It's gonna be really hard. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. But eventually he goes ahead and he agrees to it. So he takes the funny thing is he meets him at his house, and all his buddies are around. They're getting ready to watch MMA. And during the MMA fight, he basically discovers that the guy who lost made $10,000. The guy who wins,
Nico,
makes Nico, makes 50. And Nico, I guess, used to be an MMA fighter before. I think he explained something happened.
He was he was trying to get into the big leagues. Yeah, but he like the UFC, but he never made it to the UFC.
Didn't he say he got an injury or something like that kept him out?
I don't remember him saying that. I feel like he just never got his big break.
The funny thing is, so like gonna end up being like the main boss at the end of this is Krzysztof Stojakovic, however you say that, and he's playing Keith Dietrich. So
it was quite a few MMA UFC guys in this.
Yeah, there's Richard Franklin. There's a couple of them.
Jason Mayhem Miller.
Yep.
Chael Sonnen. Yes, those a few guys.
I forgot. I forgot Chael was in there. So
Joe Rogan.
Scott gets this idea like, well, I used to wrestle. I could go fight and lose. Problem is, the fights he's talking about going to go and lose aren't going to be $10,000 fights. These are going to be like, maybe you make $400 if you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
So, it gets a little crazy at that point, and you're thinking like, there's no way this dude's going to make 50 G's before he gets like some serious brain damage.
Yeah, because he has to get this money because there's a time period. He has to get it by the end of the semester.
Yeah, by the end of the school year.
Yeah,
from my understanding. So he quits the citizenship class, and they're like, the one guy Miguel thinks he's a citizen now.
Man, that's a funny looking guy, man. That guy that played him.
Oh, that guy. So Marty decides because Emilio, what's his name?
Nico.
Nico won't train him. He's like, no, this is not a good idea. So Marty's gonna help train, and they're in like his basement kicking a mattress, watching a video, watching like a training video, and
Now,
it's not going well.
Now, Joe, when I'm watching this, I'm thinking not to this extreme, but I can actually see you doing this.
Yeah.
I can see you saying, "I'll do it. I'll fight."
Yeah, but see, I'm not gonna. I will never ever say I'm gonna go fight a fight to lose.
No, of course.
If I lose,
I didn't mean that. I mean, like,
that's a dumb idea. But
no. I didn't mean that. I'm talking about like if, let's say, your church, the church you go to or whatever, if they need some money and you knew that a fight was going to pay $5,000.
Oh heck yeah!
I definitely could see you saying, you know what?
Yeah.
I haven't trained in a couple of years, but I'll get out there and I'll train. I'll work with Mr. Plowden. I'll work with whoever to get my skills up, and maybe in a couple of weeks or a couple of months or whatever, I'll do it. I can see you doing that.
I got a little wrestling, a little bit of jiu-jitsu. I could get my jiu-jitsu game up, and my striking would be okay. Like I could be, my striking would probably be my best. But
I would think you would say wrestling would be your best. If you take somebody down, if you can keep them down there, then it's gonna be a bad day.
My takedown defense was decent. My takedowns, I like the good single leg, or see, a fire hydrant one wouldn't work in the MMA because they put me right in the guillotine. But I used to use that takedown a little bit every once in a while. But the shooting, like where you got to get down on the one knee and then grab them and flip them, that one always was hard for me. But yeah, I like a good single leg.
Oh, you're talking about the fireman carry?
Yeah, I could come in and put them over the shoulder and flip them, and then get around to break them down. But yeah, I'd get killed with that one. But yeah, I'd give it a try if I needed to. So they show up for this fight. I'm gonna be honest. The first time I saw this, I was like, the guy that he's fighting, he looks like he could win, like he could hold his own with this dude.
Yeah, he did. He did. He really.
It did not go that way.
Yeah. No.
Nico shows up to the fight, and Marty and Scott's idea to win this fight is to do full-on intimidation.
They thinking about pro wrestling. That's what I was thinking. Like they are thinking WWE.
They dressed him up like a doggone Viking with some football pads on.
He looked like Vader. Big Van Vader. He had an outfit like that, similar to that, like a Minotaur. He had something like that.
Here comes the boom, and acting like he's all crazy. And this other dude looking like, okay.
They did come out hype. That was a hype intro for them to come out like that.
And Marty's right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he was like his manager. Like they came out there like they were pro wrestlers. They probably should have been in Mike's organization.
But yeah, I'm looking at this guy like, okay, maybe you could hold your own with this dude. And I mean, the bell rings, and he just gets him with the one-hitter quitter.
Yep,
puts him right down.
Knee strike.
You should just quit. After that, you take a hit like that, you're done. You should be done. Now, I don't know if they did this on purpose, because at the beginning of this, like the first few fights, he really looked like his normal self. But towards the end, he looked like he was cut. Like he had actually been working out, and like he was a little bit more fit at the end. So I wonder if they taped this at different times.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. A lot of times movies do that. They don't film the movie the way we see it. They film different things based upon a lot of things could vary.
He definitely looked different at the end of this than he did at the beginning.
I did not pay attention to that.
His arms were a little more cut. He was a little slimmer.
Well, he already was slimmer in this than he was in King of Queens.
Yeah, but in that fight, they put him in a singlet and made him look dumpy. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. Listen, man. When I wrestle and I had to use those singlets, okay, no problem. I'm not doing an MMA fight in a singlet. I'll do a Speedo before I do a singlet.
You wouldn't put on the Andre the Giant singlet. You wouldn't.
No, I might do that just for the just for the the old
I
school
would
idea.
die if you ever came out like that. I would just die, man. Wearing the Andre the Giant singlet with just the one strap over the one shoulder.
Yeah, in that case, I might as well carry a club. Um, so he shows up in Bella's office or whatever, and she patches him up, and she's like, "Why are you doing this? Like, this is crazy." And he's like, "I don't know. I just feel like I really have to do this."
And he's
Uh,
not making a lot of money. I mean, he got some money, but it wasn't that much for that fight.
he goes to Marty's house to talk to Marty about the next plan, and Marty's not there. He's doing a private lesson. That's his part. He's private lessons, make a little extra money, see if he can save his job that way. And he gets a chance to talk to Marty's wife. And while talking to Marty's wife, he realizes she doesn't know what's going on yet. Marty hasn't told her. And he also notices that Marty is a very selfless guy. He's got old instruments that the wife basically says he's gets off the internet for real cheap or goes to garage sales, and he fixes them up for kids who can't afford instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And they're everywhere. They're all over the house. And he basically tells her, like that Marty's his hero.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of like, okay, sure, why not? Again, he leaves there. He doesn't even talk to Marty, and he's like, now he's really has to do this. He's like, I think I almost wonder if he was going there to quit, and now he's like, man,
Yeah.
I really have to do this now.
Yeah, I think he was. And then he also left when he realized he almost spilled the beans. His wife did not know that Marty might be losing his job. So that would have definitely put a damper on, their excitement about the new baby and everything.
Oh yeah.
And he did not want to spoil that for her. So he kept that to himself, and he decided he needed to get out before he said the incorrect thing.
Now there is a point towards the end of the movie where she obviously knows now, but
Yeah.
I wonder when he had that conversation.
Yeah.
They never showed that.
They didn't, but she probably found out when everybody else found out, because he starts doing more and more fights, and he is on the internet and it's on YouTube, and everybody knows now. So she probably found out around that time.
So Nico finally agrees to train him, and Nico, he's one of those guys. He's like, throw you right in the fire kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get out there, and he just starts messing him up, and he's tapping on everything. So then basically Scott, because like I said, Scott's just cocky dude, man. He's like, well, of course, you can do this when you set everything up, but if I did this to you, I could do it too. And literally everything he just did to him that he couldn't get out of, Nico gets out of no problem. Mm-hmm. And then he just walks away to his spin class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He just left the mind dry.
Nico's
man, I did not know Boss Rutan was this good of an actor, because he did a very, very good job.
Yeah, he's really funny. Mm-hmm. I like Nico. So we got another fight, and it's these are just like back alley fights in a cage, random stuff. And
they start slowly getting bigger and bigger, though.
Yeah, but he makes it out of the first round of this fight, and he looks to go sit down, and Marty didn't bring the stool. He goes, Marty, where's the stool? And Marty's like, I'm new to all this. Like, I didn't know there was supposed to be a stool.
I like that response.
He's laying on the ground, and they're like, dude, you can't lay on the ground. He's like, the other guy can see you laying on the ground. He's like, next time, bring the stool. So he goes out. He makes it through round 2. And we see him sitting down now. And I'm like, oh, I guess they found a stool. Oh, no. Marty became the stool.
Now, I was wondering, where the hell did he do with the stool? Did he just leave it in the back? Because I would have thought that he would have had it right there.
He didn't know to bring one, he said.
Mm.
So the funny thing is, it's this fight, it ends up raining. So Scott thinks, oh, the fight's over. It's raining. He was like, no, man, the fight ain't over. This ain't the professionals. What do you think this is? And they're slipping around, and they're like going everywhere. And
he's trying to swim in the cage. He's He's acting like he's swimming.
Marty and Nico are laughing on the sideline. Now, did they show anybody who won that fight? Like, was there a winner?
I'm assuming that he did not win. I
Yeah,
didn't think he won any fight, and you know.
So we see him
But
in class.
he must have. They wouldn't have kept on putting him on cards if he was losing.
Yeah, true.
He had to win some of these fights.
Anything, he's very entertaining.
Yeah.
He's in the class and he has a star pupil who she's not having a good day. And when he asks her about it, she explains that her dad wants her to quit. Basically, it sounded like dad wanted her to quit school.
Not just music,
but school to help run his restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And so he basically tells her, like, you should be doing school. You shouldn't, this is not your problem. This is your dad's problem. And she kind of throws something he said earlier back into her face, like, this school stuff doesn't really matter. And it hit him hard because I don't think he meant that when he said it, but like I said, he's just at a point where he's kind of frustrated by everything that's been going on in the school system and everything. So he just kind of threw the towel in. And now he's kind of noticing that it's affecting more than just him. It's affecting the people around him. So,
and he's got to be stressing out also because he took on, he had his own issues, he had his own problems, and he's taking on somebody else's problems. So that has to be weighing on him also.
Everybody's problems at this point.
Yeah.
So we got this. They're Nico, Marty, and Scott are in the car. They're driving to the next fight, and Scott wants his oatmeal, and Marty forgot the oatmeal. Mm-hmm. So they give him some applesauce that Marty made, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said it. He made it.
Applesauce before a fight just sounds dangerous to begin with.
I was wondering, like, where are they going with this? Like, why is this part of the movie? Him eating this applesauce and talking about the applesauce. We find out shortly why this was an important scene, though.
So this is the fight where he fights the Green Ranger, isn't it?
Jason Mayhem Miller, yeah.
The first time I saw this, I thought that was him, and I was like thinking, so he basically kicks the crap out of him for 2 rounds. Mm-hmm. And then for whatever reason by the 3rd round, like, he gets just one big power hit in and he knocks him right out.
Mm-hmm.
So Scott wins his first fight. And basically he's like, I thought I was just going to sit here and lose all these fights, but he liked the fact that he won.
Mm-hmm.
He enjoyed that. He got more money.
Mm-hmm.
He got some praise for it. And I mean, at the end, it didn't help because he barfed all over
him.
But he said, it was nice to win. And of course, the only part that made it on the internet that everyone cared about was the barfing part.
Mm-hmm.
So it is but I mean, they did win. And then he comes into class the next day and the kids are all laughing at him.
So they said something. He vomited because of the applesauce.
Yeah.
But what about the applesauce? Why did the applesauce bother him?
Well, one, it was homemade, so that's probably not going to sit well in your stomach. But the problem was it sat in the hot car all day.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably all kinds of bacteria.
Okay.
But even though the kids were laughing at him, they were also showing him respect because he was at least trying to do something to help.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's just getting his butt kicked and barfing on people. So he's kind of liking some of this because he's getting more attention, better attention than he was from Bella, that he wasn't getting before. Still not ready to give him a date yet, but enough to where, like, she's at least talking to him, not just saying no anymore. Now, with the idea that he's not going to lose anymore, Nico sets him up with a guy that's going to help him with offense. But just like Nico's technique, this guy's a straight into the fire, learning kind of guy. So he puts 4 people on him to just kick the crap out of him. And it's kind of like survive.
That's Marta Grot.
Oh, yeah. And on top of all that, he's like hanging out with all these people, eating all this, whatever they are. What are they, Polish?
I have no idea. I'm not sure if they say it or not, but
no, they really don't. I think Nico's Polish.
He's from Holland. I think he said
Where's
he was from
Holland?
Holland.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Where's Holland?
Holland is Holland. Isn't it in Europe? I don't know.
I know. I don't do geography on the podcast. Come on, let's show. Anyhow,
Braylon would know. My son would know.
he would, wouldn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. He at one point in time he could tell you where all of the different countries were and all this random information about the countries.
The funny thing is, he's kind of creating like this new family of school and MMA, and he's having a good time with it. Now he's having a problem lifting his arms apparently, so of course he has Bella again helping him out. And she's got to reset his arm. A dislocated arm to be reset. Okay, I've had that twice now. Before I had to get surgery. It's not fun. I had morphine when I got mine done.
Ooh, I've never dislocated anything.
I'm sorry, but he's not fighting after that. I couldn't use my arm for defense for 2 weeks after dislocating it. And then mine was so bad I had to get surgery on it because it would pop out during everything. It would pop out when I wake up in the morning and stretch. It would like pop out and go back in. It would pop out while I was fighting.
So were you putting it back in yourself? Like were you like Mel Gibson and Lethal Weapon and you were like slamming your shoulder up against the
No. I was not even attempting. It would just pop out and pop back in.
Okay.
And I could feel it. Yeah, I could feel it slide. And it sucked. Every time it happened, it would be like, and then it would suck and it'd be sore for 2 days. So I finally, the doctor said, I tried physical therapy. People that use physical therapy and it works, good for them. But me, I did 3 months of physical therapy for it and it still was having the same problem. So I finally just got the surgery and that worked for me way better. And the surgery, all it did is they just had those loose tendons. They just pulled them in and anchored them to my shoulder.
Okay.
So he gets called down to the office at school, even though he's trying to do something here. And I wish I knew this girl's name, but the girl that he told to go talk to her dad, she's Asian.
I think her name is Malia. Let me take a look.
The dad shows up and is basically saying like, "How dare you tell my daughter to go against me?" And he says exactly how he feels. He's like, your problem's not your daughter's problem. I understand that you are, need help in your restaurant. He's like, but that's your problem, not hers. She should be a child. She should be a student. She should be able to do the things she needs to do. And so I'm not going to apologize for telling her to stand up to you. And he kind of respected that. He didn't agree with it, but he respected it. And he respected what he was doing to try and help Marty. Even though he had the principal up his butt about it, which was just stupid. So during all this, it really inspired him to do better as a teacher. So now he's like going back to his old crazy ways of teaching. He's standing on the desk, he's being goofy, he's trying to get these kids motivated. And at first, like they're not into it. But eventually they kind of give in to his silly, dumb ways. And even one of the kids that he didn't expect to answer, that he might have quote unquote put in the dumb category, started answering questions.
I can't remember that kid's name.
Bella sees this, and so slowly he's starting to break her down. Her defenses are coming down, and he's just probably starting to get his spark back from this whole idea of not just trying to make it through every day and just get through it and get to the end of the day. And it's going pretty well for him. He's doing his training, and Scott, smartest thing he ever did. Now, while Nico's training him, instead of helping Nico with his tests, he sends his Mila, we'll say Mila, to help. But Mila uses music to help her with her studies, so she helps Nico the same way, so he can pass the citizenship test. And it works. He's starting to learn more and help. And meanwhile, Scott's out there. He's winning more fights and he's showing up, making some money, and it's going well. And he's getting better each time.
And he's taking the money that he gets and he's taking it and giving it to someone. That's part of the school.
Yeah, the one who's in charge of all that.
Yeah, what was his name? I'm gonna look up his name because I mean he plays an important part shortly.
So they kind of do a little fighting montage a little bit. He's got a couple fights. He's wins one.
Elkins.
He wins a few. He loses one or two, and he's doing a crazy project where he's you know creating a little destructive, and he finally gets Bella to agree to have dinner at his place. And he tells her, she's like, "Well, what are you gonna cook me?" And he's like, "Whatever you want." And of course, she picks some crazy difficult dish. Well, guess
Mm-hmm.
what? His brother Eric can cook.
Mm-hmm.
So he cooks the dinner, which later on gives him the idea to give his brother a new job. Now he's going to solve another problem.
Because
He's
that
gonna have his brother work at the restaurant where they wanted the daughter to work, and he's going to work out really well because he's a good chef.
because that was his passion. Because I think
Yeah.
they had a talk at some point in the movie, and he said, you know, how come you don't pursue your passion or whatever? And he wanted to, but he couldn't. And I guess he was a painter. He's a painter, and he took over the family business from his
Yeah.
dad, but he knew that that wasn't his passion. So he was trying to help his brother out also and help out Malia's dad.
Hey, two birds, one stone. It was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, during this date, for whatever reason, she starts wailing on him, and they have like a moment, but then it kind of gets ruined because she gets
She
slammed to the couch and got messed up.
I thought she was drunk. I was like, what? Where did this come from? Like, what happened? Because
She
it just kind
was
of
really wailing on it. It was
yeah, it
like, he
just
was
kind of
like, "What is
switched all of
happening?"
a sudden. I would have had to put her out. Like, you know what? Maybe you need to sit down, go to sleep. Maybe you need to go home because that just kind of came out of nowhere when she starts hitting him, and then she jumps on him and makes him fall. I thought this was about to go to the bedroom. That's
That's what I thought too, but this isn't
that's
Michael Jai
what
White, you know.
right, right. Kevin James had to take his shirt off, and then slings her over his shoulder, and then takes her to the bedroom
Right? So
with the sexy slow jams playing in the background.
Nico shows up and he says the UFC has reached out and they want Scott to fight.
Not Nico, Mark Del Grot. He tells them, and he tells them that Nico turned it down.
Oh,
Yeah, Nico turned it
okay.
down
You're
because
right.
Nico's the manager.
How did I miss
He's
that part?
yeah, Nico is the manager, so it comes to him. And Mark Delagrat told him that, and
Okay.
that's why he goes and talks to him about it.
But he at first Nico wasn't into like didn't think it was a good thing for him. But when he
No,
finds out he can because they only need 6 grand more.
yep,
So, and this is $10,000 to lose.
mm-hmm.
To lose to a guy who calls himself the executioner is a little much. Because I'm sorry. I don't care what you say. One, he had no business being in this fight, let alone possibly winning this fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only problem with this movie. There should have been like I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I think it was good the way they did it, but this dude would have got killed. In any other situation, this dude would just got killed.
You know what? I said I'm not going to say that or talk about that because I'll probably get killed. I know Jeff will probably be like, "Come on, Gene, it's just a movie," you know. So I wasn't going to mention that,
I'm good with
but
that. I'm okay with them just being a movie, but we
yeah,
got to be realistic.
yeah, yeah. And I knew I was thinking this was going to end similar to Rocky 1, but I'll explain that when we get there. Go ahead.
Well, and once we get one piece of information, you know it can't. So the funny thing is, so he goes to talk to Joe Rogan about this fight, um, and he goes to the restaurant where he just got his brother a new job.
Mm-hmm.
So his brother brings out some food, and I thought his brother was just being nosy on the meal, but he really just wanted to make sure they ate his food at the peak of its taste. So he's like,
Mm-hmm.
they're really good when they're hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He just wanted to make sure they liked his food. So that was kind of funny. So Rogan lays it out that the executioner had a fight, Dietrich had a fight lined up. The guy got hurt, and so
Mm-hmm.
they need someone. Honestly, they need someone desperate to take over. Nico can't do it, and Nico vouches that Scott, can handle it. He's ready for it.
Now,
Which I think
before we get to this point, Scott and Nico have a talk about it because Scott approaches him and says, "How can we turn on the fight?" And that's when we find out that Nico turned it down because he knows that Scott is not ready. Number one. Number two, he was a little jealous because he was like, I've been doing this we're the same age. I've been doing this a lot longer than you, but you're the one that got the shot to go up to the big league. So I was a little jealous.
Well, this was a rocky moment because this was
Yeah.
more about the story.
Yeah.
At this point.
And the UFC had heard about what he had been doing for the school.
That's what I'm saying. When you can't promote a fight based on the fight, then the next is to get a good story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if the guy gets murdered in UFC, that's not a good story. You know, I guess he's okay to survive. So at the airport, everything, he tries to sneak a kiss from Bella. That didn't work. But he talks with Marty's wife. And Marty's wife talks about the time he came over and he basically said Marty was his hero. But she explained to him at this point that Scott was Marty's hero. And I thought that was really sweet because, I mean, he really didn't have to do this. And at this point, he's come a long ways and he could have backed out at any time. Like Marty was never pressuring him to do this, but I mean, he was thankful for it. And at this, I think he just really had to see it through at this point. So, and of course, he gets denied by Bella again. So I'm assuming they're in Vegas at this point, right?
Yeah.
So the guys are all at the hotel, and they're
in Vegas,
and having they're having a food fight, acting like children because they don't get to do this that often. They probably got up in this hotel. They probably got free everything. So, hey, enjoy it while you can because who knows how long it's going to last. Scott gets a call from Bella, and Bella basically explains that the guy taking all the money has been embezzling, and he took all the money. He took it all.
Yeah, that was Elkins.
Everything they've been doing, he took it all. And she told him, you don't have to do this. Come home before you get hurt. And he's like, no. He's like, I can't do that. I got to see this through. And she basically tells him, like, what do you think the messages you're sending to these kids? Like, he's like, to never give up. Like, that's the thing. Like, we can't do it. And so at that point, he basically has to win this fight. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's got to. Like, it's the only way now. He's come this far. And he has to win this fight. It's the only way it's going to happen.
I had another thought, but go ahead.
You think that he loses a fight, and then the UFC posts the money anyway?
I thought that he would have lost the fight, and I thought that the UFC would have gave them fight of the night because now he's gonna get the money. He's gonna get the money if they have fight of the night. Number one, or I thought that maybe he would have cut what was his name again? What was the character's name?
Dietrich?
Yeah, Dietrich. I thought he would have cut him in the third round, and they would have said that he had a cut over the eyebrow or whatever, and he couldn't continue. So I was like, I didn't think he would have just beat him, but I thought there would have been something in order. I knew he was going to get the money, but I didn't think they were going to do this the way it
could have been some different ways to do it that would have been a little more realistic. But again, still fun. I was fine with it.
Right.
I forgot to mention, so he was coming out to "Here Comes the Boom" pretty much every match that he was like. That was his thing. And then the fight, I think before he fought the Green Ranger, I call him, but I know it's not his name, but he used that. So he needed a new song. So he put on what was it?
I don't know that song, so I can't tell you.
I think it's Springfield, but I don't know.
I've never heard that song before.
Me neither. I have no idea. So the only reason I mentioned that now is because it's significant now because he kind of made that his new song, even though it's real slow and kind of sleepy. But so when he comes out to it on the big stage, he goes, it sounds different. Like something about it sounds different. And when he actually shows up, Bella brought the band. So the band was playing the song and his top student was singing.
Yeah.
So they looked at Rogan. I guess Rogan helped Bella with all that because he just smiled and said, yeah. So I mean now like how is he's got a whole audience, and then the rest of the people are watching at home. I mean, like he's got to do this now. Like, what are you gonna do? Like? Everyone's waiting to watch him. At the very least, he has to see it through. So, we go back and see that. And the funny thing about it is, I thought like, okay, he's gonna come out, he's gonna like take some punches in here, and he's gonna give it back to him. No, he got his butt whooped pretty much the first 2 rounds. Like,
Destroyed.
and he's lucky that nowadays they probably would have stopped the fight. Like, let's be honest. And even Joe Rogan is like, dude, what is keeping this guy up?
Yeah, because he took a beating.
And he
took a bad beating.
My favorite after the first round, he goes, man, everything you taught me, he knows. He knows how to get out of it. Well, like, it's so fast. He's so much better than me. And it's like, yeah, that's why he's a professional and you're not.
Now, you did skip on one little part. So, he is getting emotional. He's looking at the crowd before the fight starts. He's looking around. He sees his students. And then before he goes out to start round 1, he asks his corner, like, how much do I get if I win? And they said 50,000. So then he says, okay, I'm about to go. Because before that, he was just planning to get in there and lose. Get the 10,000 and then get out. After Bella had called him and told him that they didn't have the money, he was still trying to figure out a way to get the money. He was not quitting. He was not giving up. He wasn't backing up. So when they told him 50,000 to win, he was going to go all in.
Yeah, well, after that first round, he should have rethought it.
I think he did. After the first round, I definitely think he did.
I mean, literally the opening bell, he gets Superman punched like horribly, like Jordan from the free throw kind of. Everything. I don't know how big this guy is, but everything right at him. It was nuts. And then just got wailed on for the whole first round, to the head, to the body, everything. And then, I mean, the second round, it was pretty much the same thing. He got a few shots in, and he was taken to the ground and pound. Like, he was just getting everything. And then after the second round, like, he was walking to the wrong corner. He was, looking in the stands. He couldn't see nothing. Like I said, they should have called this match. It was like,
especially at that point when you see that this guy is in the wrong corner and talking crazy. They definitely would have stopped this.
And then Marty, gets him fired up. Marty just tells him, "Listen, man, it doesn't matter what happens here now. You did it. You inspired the kids. You did what you came to do. Everyone knows." That you're not a bum, you're not a quitter. Like, you did what you came here to do. Like, you don't have to do this. You don't got to take this punishment. And he's like, no, man, I'm going to go out and win this. And, like, we see a whole new fighter in the third round.
Yeah, that speech that Marty gave him was inspirational. Like, I was ready to spar.
He starts slipping some shots, and then he starts getting some of his own, and then he starts wailing back, and he takes a couple shots, but I mean, he gets some good punches. He gets a nice head kick. And
the crowd is really in it too now.
When he took him down, he got a good slam. So I mean, he was definitely doing what he had to do to win this fight. And then, I mean, the final. So earlier, he lost a fight to an armbar where he was trying to use the defense that Nico taught him, and he says you got to keep your hands together, and he couldn't keep them together. So this time around, he got in the same situation, and he was able to keep his hands together. And then he took it above a step further, where he actually picked my man up and slammed him. I mean, he ended the fight with that slam.
Yeah, he was pretending he was Rampage,
right? And it was funny to me because Dietrich was looking at him like, nah, this isn't happening. Like, he should have let go of that armbar.
Yep.
Because you had to know what was coming.
As soon as you start going up, let it go.
Yeah, you had to, because I mean, he probably broke some ribs, like, dang. And finally got his kiss from Bella, which that's all it took. Like, maybe she's a little too high maintenance, bro. I'm just saying.
He just want to fight. He just want to fight. It does something to
I agree, but I'm just saying. So they show him at the end. He saved the day. Marty has his job. He's watching Marty do his thing. And then, of course, him and the principal are talking, and the principal's like, he asked the principal if he can have his vacation day back, and he said no. And then he tells him to get back to class, and then they show they show all the guys who are from the citizenship class passing their citizenship, and everybody's outside having a good time.
Miguel was extra happy. He
Oh yeah,
thinks he think
he
he
got
passed
out
the
of
test
citizen
twice.
twice in 1 week.
Yeah.
So yeah, cute little movie. Good MMA was pretty good in it. I mean,
No, definitely.
it wasn't like spectacular, but for movie quality, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was entertaining. It was funny. I love. I pretty much will watch Kevin James in anything. I've rarely seen a movie with him or a show that I really don't like by him. He's one of my favorites as an actor, and I just somebody. Sometimes you think, oh, somebody needs to be real dynamic to be a good actor, but sometimes one character just works.
Hmm.
And that's Kevin James plays pretty much a same version of a character most of the time, and it works for him. It's funny.
I've never seen the Paul Blart movies. That didn't seem like something that would be in my wheelhouse.
They're,
I never
they're
saw
actually really
those.
funny. They're really
They're funny.
they
Okay.
are pretty funny. They're
Okay.
they're stupid funny. They're like entertaining funny, like
Oh,
Bill and Ted funny, like that.
okay. Okay. I might have some medicine and watch that one day.
Because he's not. What's the best way to explain it? He's a little slow, but he's like it's not on. He is just who he is, and he's real super serious about his job as a mall cop.
Okay. I kind of got the idea. I
Yeah,
kind of got the idea.
the first one's better than the second one, but the second one's okay.
Okay. All right.
What
With
do you
that,
give this movie? I'm curious about because I have an idea of what I was wanting to give it.
I'm giving it an A. I
Okay,
enjoyed it. I
okay,
didn't have any problems with it.
yeah,
Not a lot of stupid stuff happened in the movie. Like it was a good movie. It was a nice story. It was inspirational. I don't think it was realistic,
yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, listen, it's one of those movies you can just throw on. It's entertaining. You can watch it in the background, and there's some funny stuff, good fighting. It's just you can watch it a few times and enjoy it. It's good time.
like I said, I only thing I really would have changed is the ending of this movie. Like I said, he would have got the money from Fight of the Night because the fight was so entertaining. So I would have had Dana White tell them that they were getting the money for Fight of the Night, or I would have did something where since he was a wrestler, he could have took. He said his name was Dietrich. I
Yeah,
would have had him take him down and then maybe cut him with an elbow. Have the referee stop it, look at the look at the cut, and then stop the fight or something like that. That would have been a little bit more realistic. The slam, I really can't see that character doing that to Dietrich, but it's fine. It is what it is. It didn't mess up my enjoyment of the fight, man. Boss Rutan was the star. Like I loved all of his scenes that he was in. He was
yeah, he
pretty
was
funny.
great. I thought he was
Yeah,
really
yeah. So I'm giving it a.
good.
What about you?
No, I was giving it an A as well.
Okay, cool. So what's next, Joe? What are we watching?
I kind of forgot about this movie because at one point we were supposed to talk to the director of this, but it never happened. But this one that Zeke was in, this Absolute Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
If we can find where, I think it's on Prime.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, Absolute Dominion. It looked interesting, and I guess it was Oscar nominated.
Okay, so we'll watch that
Main
next. See if I can
character.
find it.
Yeah, it looked like an interesting movie, and like I said, when we were supposed to, I don't know what happened with all that. I remember Trav saying something about it, and then it just never happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But I
so we'll
thought
do that.
it would be something interesting to watch.
Okay, and then on Superflix, we're doing Back to the Future this week. We just wrapped up Bill and Ted a couple of weeks ago. So we, if you haven't listened to Superflix, check out our review of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bogus Journey, and Bill and Ted Face the Music. So we're gonna stick to the time traveling theme, and we're gonna do Back to the
Did I
Future.
read that that's coming up on 40 years?
Huh?
Is that coming up on 30 or 40 years for Back to the Future?
Should be 40. The first one came out in 85. I don't know what month, but
I think they're bringing it back to the theaters for that.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. That seems like it's a thing now they're doing with movies.
Yeah.
I just text Trav when today's Trav's birthday. When you guys hear this, it'll be 2 days later. But I text him. I text him earlier today And I said to him, like, me and him never talked about that when Marty and Doc go to the future in Back to the Future 2, they arrive back on his birthday on October 21st. And me and him, I was like, how do we never not talk about that? But he said he always knew it. But I knew it, but I just never put two and two together. It was his birthday, you know. So
that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Joe?
No, man, I'm good. Good stuff.
All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week. And I will play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.